person who killed his wife inside that tandoor. This is the possibility, or this is the common trait in every politician, that they are very, violent in their personal relationship. She was talking to somebody on her on that telephone. So that was the he started working as a watchdog on Nana Sahni. When he started doubting her, so there was a doubt in Sushil Sharma's mind that Nana Sahni and Matlub Karim is in a relationship. The Delhi's Youth Congress, Congress Party, Zindabad, long live Congress Party. So that was very much easy to recognize his card, that okay, this card belongs to the person of Indian Youth Congress. Sushil Sharma, of course, he was a politician. So Sushil Sharma tried to threat him, and of course, he offered him a good amount of money, that if you are going to help me, then definitely that amount will be yours, or otherwise I'll kill you. If I can kill my wife, then definitely you are nothing for me. Hello guys, this is Meher along with cameraman Umar Ansari, and we would like to welcome you all on our YouTube channel Katha. Have you ever eaten that food which we call tandoori cuisine? Have you ever tried to consume that cuisine, consume that beautiful fragrance, beautiful smell of those coals, burning coals, along with n number of butter, and of course that cheesy food? Yes, we call that tandoori chicken, tandoori kebab, tandoori roti. I think if we are going to talk about the North India's cuisine, then tandoor is a really very common platform for that. If you are going to bake some cookies, if you are going to bake some, if you are going to grill some chicken, then definitely tandoor will be the best instrument for that. Tandoor is the desi oven. But if we are going to tell you that there was a person who cooked his wife inside that tandoor, where temperature is more than 100 degrees Celsius, then what will be your reactions for that person? That he's a brutal man who killed his wife. Who killed his wife, not the another woman. In today's story, we are going to discuss about that story, that person who killed his wife inside that tandoor. And in 2026, we are going to discuss that incident, that case which was happened in 1995. I am Meher Jain with you. In the year 1995, there was a famous personality in Indian politics. His name was Sushil Sharma, who was the president of Delhi's Youth Congress. Sushil Sharma. At that time, he was in his peak. He was a leader. Which political party was in power at that time? In 1995, PV Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister of India, and there were n number of opposition leaders in national capital, of course, in southern region of our country. There were many people also, very famous personalities in Indian politics, and beneath those personalities there was a person, Sushil Sharma, who was the president of Delhi's Youth Congress. Sushil Sharma married a girl who was the member of Youth Congress at that time, who was also the member of Youth Congress at that time, and her name was Nana Sahni. Nana Sahni and Sushil Sharma were fallen in love, and after some time they decided to get married. So there was the third character also, whose name was Matlub Karim. He was a friend of Sushil Sharma along with Nana Sahni, and Sushil Sharma, he was on his peak. If you are going to consult about his career, see, so at that time he was on his peak, and according to some theories, Sushil Sharma was one of the most prominent leaders of Delhi's Youth Congress at that time. So there could be a possibility that after the passage of 10 years or after some time, there could be a possibility that he could be the leader of he could be the member of parliament with the passage of time. So he was very famous personality at that time. Sushil Sharma and Nana Sahni got married, and their families were against this marriage, because Nana Sahnis are Punjabis, and Sushil Sharma was belonged from a Brahman family. So I don't know whether it could be the case of, it could be the matter of caste or religion. Yes, they were from same religion, but their castes were different. So maybe it can be it could be the possibility that their families were against against this relationship. So Sushil Sharma and Nana Sani fallen in love and they decided to get married. But that marriage was not registered. Officially, they were in a living relationship, but unofficially they were married. The marriage was taken place, and of course, Matlub Karim was also there. Matlub Karim was eyewitness for that marriage. So they were living in, I think, their address at the time. Their address was near Gold Market in Delhi, national in the national capital. There was a flat in Gold Market, and Sushil Sharma was the owner of that flat, and they lived there. According to some theories, according to some reports, Sushil Sharma was a brutal man. He consistently beaten Naina Sahni, and of course he was that masculine personality that okay, she's my wife, so she's my slave. According to some cases, but yes, according to some theories also, Sushil Sharma and Naina Sahni were that was a good couple. But of course, by the cause of some circumstances, the relationship was suffering. So there was a flat in Gold Market where they lived, and initially everything was fine. But with the passage of time, Naina Sani consistently pressurized, she started pressurizing Sushil Sharma that our marriage is not registered. According to people, we are in a living relationship, but yes, we are got married now. So now it's high time to register ourselves that yes, we are not in a living relationship, even we are husband wife. So Sushil Sharma and Naina Sani started fighting on this matter because Sushil Sharma was on his peaks. Maybe it could be the reason for his career. So he didn't wanted to register their marriage. He just only wanted to pass some time. He just only wanted to say that he just only wanted to convince Naina Sani that okay, after some time or after a fixed time, that will be the golden time for us whenever we'll register ourselves. But Naina Sani was not for this decision. Instantly, she wanted to pressurize Sushil that he has to register his marriage. So that was a matter for chaos in their relationship. So maybe, according to their neighbors, their society people, the strangling of utensils and screaming voices were very much common to listen in the society at that time, according to their neighbors. But Naina Sahni and Matlub Karim, they were good friends. Of course, Sushil Sharma was also their good friend, but Naina Sahni and Matlub, maybe that could be the possibility when Naina Sahni was not getting her, didn't get her support from Sushil Sharma. So maybe her support was shifted from Sushil Sharma to Matlub Karim. But we are not going to talk about her extramarital affair there. No, this is not the matter of extramarital affair. Maybe it could be the possibility because according to Matlub Karim, Naina Sahni wanted to go to Australia. She wanted to deboard there. Maybe for the sake of her studies, for her masters or for her service, it could be the big cause for her desire to go there. But Matlub was very good friend of her. And if we are going to talk about her extramarital relationship with Matlub Karim, so Matlub Karim is still alive, and Matlub always denied that allegation that no, she was not my girlfriend or she was not in an extramarital affair with me. Instead of that, she was very good friend of mine. And of course, Sushil was also very good friend of mine, according to Matlub Karim. She always denied that allegation that no, we were not in a relationship, we were good friends. So Naina started screaming in front of Matlub that okay, I'm not very happy with Sushil and he's a very violent person. Of course, he was a statesman. Of course, he was a politician. So maybe it is very common trait for every politician. I'm not going to justify any stereotype propaganda stereotype image there. But yes, this is the possibility, or this is the common trait in every politician, that they are very, violent in their personal relationship. So according to Naina, according to Matlub Karim, she always share her personal sentiments and her observations about Sushil, that no, he's a changed man now. So she don't want to continue her relationship with him, and she just only want to separate, and she only want to go to Australia. So that was her personal desire, which she consistently shared with Matlub in her daily basis. So um, Matlub decided to help her. That okay, if you want to go to Australia, then definitely I will help you. So I think he started her legal uh, procedure for for her trip to Australia. Well, not about trip, for to deboard her is in Australia. So he started her legal procedure. But when Sushil Sharma let that let know about that case, when Sushil Sharma got that idea that okay, Naina Sahni is in consistently touch with Matlu, so Sushil Sharma also started, you know, judging the relationship, that whether they are good friends or is anything else there. So at that time, Sushil Sharma, he was in a doubt that maybe Naina is trying to cheat her. So he started surveillancing her. Okay, ki if she's at that time there was no mobile phone, or there was a very limited sources of mobile phone. So at that time, telephone was very common in this elite in these elite class people. So whenever Sushil came back to his home, so when he came back, so at that time he always he always worked like a watchdog, that whether Nana was in kitchen, or Nana was in her room, or she was in her room, or she was talking to somebody on on that telephone. So that was the he started working as a watchdog on Nana Sahni when he started doubting her. So there was a doubt in Sushil Sharma's mind that Nana Sahni and Matlub Karim is in a relationship. According to Matlub, someday Sushil Sharma directly or indirectly tried to threat him that okay, if you are not going to distant yourself with my wife, then definitely I'll kill you. So that was a statement of Matlub Karim at that time. On 2nd of July 1995, 2nd of July 1995, Sushil back to his home. That was the late night evening, so Sushil back to his home. And when he opened the door, at that time, Naina Sahni was she was talking to somebody on the telephone. And when Sushil entered to their house, when Sushil entered in that home, Naina disconnected the call. So at that time, Sushil Sharma, he felt awkward, and he asked Nana that you're with whom you're talking to. So at that time, Naina Sahni replied, I was talking to my mother. So after saying that, she go inside that kitchen. But Sushil Sharma was in a doubt that no, maybe she was not talking to her mother. There was the redial button in telephones. If you remember that in telephones there was the option of redial button, that if you are going to press that redial button, so the last caller will be connected. So when Sushil Sharma was in a doubt that no, maybe she was not talking to her mother, so he dialed that redial number. And when he redialed that number, Matlub picked that phone call, and he said hello. So when Sushil listened that voice of Matlub, so he was he assured that okay, she was not talking to her mother, even she was talking to Matlub. Sushil Sharma was drunk. Sushil Sharma was he was badly drunk at that night. And when he listened that voice of Matlub Kareem, so he just lose his temper and he came to her kitchen that no, you are not talking to your mother. So at that time, fight broke out between Naina Sahani and Sushil Sharma at the time, and Sushil started calling her, characterless or other obscene words which can be used to a woman. So when Naina shouted and screamed on him, so at that time Sushil Sharma had a licensed pistol. He keep a licensed pistol with him. So when fight broke out between them, and when he was in a high temper, he shoot her. I think he fired 3 to 4 rounds, maybe 2 to 3 rounds, and spontaneously at that spot, Nana died. There was a heated argument between them, and he shoot her. He shoot his own wife, and Nana died on the spot. Nana died on the spot. So after 10 to 15 seconds or 20 seconds, after a minute, his hangover go down, and Sushil realized his mistake. That okay, it was the life-threatening blunder of his life, and that was the end of Nana's life at the time. So at the time, Sushil started crying in front of Nana's body. That was the biggest mistake of his life. But after some minutes, after a while, he just decided to bury that body, or just what we can say, ठिकाने लगाना. He just tried to hide this mistake. So their bedroom was filled with Nana's blood. So he washed the blood stains, and he just tried to cover that body with a polythene bag, with a bed sheet, and then he deposit that body. He just dumped that body in a, what we can say, in a bora, that jute bora. If we are going to talk about the physical fitness of Sushil Sharma, so Sushil Sharma was a healthy person, and his height was a normal height of a northern, like an Indian boy. So at that time, he tried to, according to Sushil's statement, he tried to lift that body, but he was unable to do that. And of course, he was in a hangover. He was in a high state. So he just dragged her dead body in his car, and he hide that body. He just load that body in his car's dicky, and after locking his he just locked his flat, and then he was driving that car in the central Delhi's area. So at that time he was driving his car in a rash way on that flyover which connects central Delhi to Trans Yamuna. Initially he decided to throw her dead body in Yamuna river, but that was the very important point to remember, that he was the president of Delhi's Youth Congress. So at that time his car was fulfilled with n number of stickers like Delhi's Youth Congress, Congress Party, Zindabad, long live Congress Party. So that was very much easy to recognize his car, that okay, this car belongs to the person of Indian Youth Congress. So it could be the personality that his decision to throw out her body in Yamuna river, it could raise some problematic situation for him. So he just changed his mind that okay, this will be not a good that will be not the good option for him, that is going to throw that body inside the Yamuna river. So at that time in central Delhi, there was the Ashok Yatri Niwas Hotel, where there was a Bagia Restaurant, and Bagia Restaurant, the tender of Bagia Restaurant was a Sushil Sharma. In other words, Sushil Sharma was the owner of Bagia Restaurant, which was in Ashok Yatri Niwas Hotel at that time, and that hotel was in central Delhi. I didn't visited that. I didn't visit that place anymore. So according to me, Shangri-La Hotel is on that place now. Initially, it was Ashok Yatri Niwas, and now it's Shangri-La Hotel in central Delhi. So that Bagia restaurant belongs to Sushil Sharma. At that time, in 1995, Bagia restaurant belongs to Sushil Sharma. So Sushil Sharma changed his mind that okay, it will not be good option to throw her body in Yamuna River. So he just reversed his car and he decided to reach his Bagia restaurant. Okay, Sushil Sharma was the owner of Bagia restaurant, and the handler of Bagia restaurant, what we can say, the number two, the manager of Bagia restaurant was Keshav Kumar. He was a direct employee of Sushil Sharma. He directly report him and all of the collection of that restaurant. The collections, the balance sheets, debit credits, all the transactions were handled by Keshav Kumar. So Keshav was a very loyal employee of Sushil Sharma at that time. So Sushil parked his car in that Bagia restaurant and he called Keshav to his cabin. So when Keshav came, so he says that how many guests are in our restaurants at the time. So Keshav said that okay, our restaurants, the timing of food has just started, so the people will be till 2 to 3 a.m. here. So Sushil just tried to convince him that okay, thrown out everybody. So at that time, Keshav was very much surprised that how is it possible, our restaurant has been started yet and it's not possible to call them that okay, we don't have food, we don't have meal. So Sushil said that no, I just only want you to be here, and says everyone to go. Keshav was not very convinced with that decision that that will be very much negative for their PR. So Sushil Sharma was on his single statement that I just only want you to be here and send everybody to their home. So Keshav was very much surprised, but yes, he called everybody to go their home, and of course the staff of that hotel too, that okay, you just take a rest today and come tomorrow. So now Bagia restaurant was completely silenced, and now Sushil Sharma and Keshav Kumar, they were present there in Bagia restaurant. Now they were all alone in Bagia restaurant, and only Keshav Kumar and Sushil Sharma was there in Bagia restaurant. What happened? Sushil Sharma tell Keshav about that incident that okay, I just killed my wife Nana Sahni, so now it's time to cremate her on our tandoor, on our restaurant's tandoor. So at that time Keshav Kumar was very much shocked that I'm not a cold-blooded criminal, I'm not I'm a very simple sober person, so it's not possible for me that I'm going to dump her body. But Sushil Sharma, of course, he was a politician, so Sushil Sharma tried to threat him, and of course he offered him a good amount of money that if you are going to help me, then definitely that amount will be yours, or otherwise I'll kill you. If I can kill my wife, then definitely you are nothing for me. So Keshav agreed on that statement, and he was convinced about that okay, I'm going to help you. Then Keshav Kumar and Sushil Sharma drag Nana's body from their car to their restaurant's tandoor. Keshav and Sushil, they both dumped that body, and now the body started cremating on the tandoor in the national capital. So that was the turning point for that image of that tandoor. That tandoor is the oven of not only for rotis or for bread only. Tandoor is the oven for the dead body of a person also. So that was his, that was the changing definition of tandoor at the time in 1995. So that was the day, 2nd of July 1995, when Sushil Sharma cremate his wife's body in the tandoor of national capital of India. According to the investigator and writer of that book, the famous book, Tandoor Murder, The Crime That Shook the Nation, Maxwell Pereira. So Maxwell Pereira was the investigator of this case, Tandoor case, and he was the writer of Tandoor Murder case, The Crime That Shook the Nation. According to him, Sushil and Keshav didn't dump that body inside the body of Tandoor. They didn't dump that Nana's dead body inside the Tandoor. Even they were cremating that body, they were trying to dump that body on the top of that tandoor. If we are going to discuss about the structure of tandoor, so tandoor is like a round shape or is like a square shape. uh, what we can say, it's like a square shape object where there is a circular position, there is a circular hollow area where there are many coals and wooden pieces, and when we burn that uh, burn those flammable objects inside that circular hollow thing. So that utensil is called a tandoor. So Sushil Sharma and Keshav was not cremating her body inside that hollow place. Even that body was cremating upon that hollow place. So this statement was of Maxwell Pereira, who was the investigator of that case, and the body was cremating. The body was started cremating on that tandoor. But after 10 to 15 minutes or half an hour, Sushil realized that body is not burning properly. So there was some butter inside a saucepan. So Sushil poured the whole butter on her body. So when he poured that butter, then the heightened flames were started arising from that tandoor. So Sushil realized that that will be a better option to pour butter on that body, through which that body will cremate within 2 to 3 hours properly. So Sushil asked Keshav about the butter. Do we have more butter? So Keshav bring all of the butter in which was present in Baghiya restaurant at the time. So that was the biggest mistake of Sushil Sharma in this case, that he poured whole of the butter. He poured whole of that saucepan on his wife's body, which he was cremating on tandoor. So when he poured whole of the butter on that body, on that dead body, so the heightened flames were started arising, and on the top of the tandoor there was a shamiana. There was a shamiana type, what we can say, tent. Was knotted on the top of that tandoor. Suppose if this is the tandoor and if this is the shamiana, so the flames were started. The flames were touching that shamiana. So there was the beat officer, there was the constable there was a constable and home guard who were on their shift in Janpat area, in the central Delhi area at that time. So the beat officer, the constable at that time, there was a constable Abdul Nazir Kunju and a home guard Chandrapal. They were patrolling in central Delhi at that time, and the flames were so high that Constable Abdul Nazir Kunju He saw that, and whenever he saw that, when he saw those flames, so he was like in a very shocking position. There, what was that? What was that? And there was a lady also who was who sold vegetables outside that Bagia restaurant, that Ashok Yatri Niwas hotel. So when she saw those flames, so she started screaming that the fire is in the hotel, fire is in the restaurant. And Abdul Azir Kunju also saw those flames. So whenever they got to know about those flames, so Abdul Azir Kunju, he just knocked the door of Bagia restaurant and he started calling Keshav. So whenever Keshav arrived on their main gate, so he said, "Yeah, what is going on? Your restaurant will, that will be started burning if you are not going to keep a watch on that." So Keshav refused about that incident, and he just tried to convince him that there are some party posters and banners inside our restaurant, and we are just, we just burning them. There are some waste posters, party banners, photographs there, so we are just burning them. So Abdul Azir Kunju, he was convinced about his statement that okay, just focus on that flames, or otherwise that will be a problematic situation for you and me, for of course. So Keshav refused that, okay, don't worry about that, we are just burning our party posters and banners. After some time, I mean Kunju, that constable Kunju, and homeguard Chandrapal. So after half an hour, or after an hour, they they took the another round of that hotel, and the flames were in the same position. They were touching that Shamiana, and Kunju was very surprised. Kunju was very much surprised about that thing. Yet he just said, "Ki okay, we are going to stop those flames, and we are just going back to our home." But still the flames are in the same position. So Kunju again knocked their door, and whenever uh, Keshav came to that main door, so Kunju said that, now what happened? You just said ki we are going back to our home. So Keshav said that as I told you that we are burning some party banners and posters, and there is nothing wrong with that. So Kunju said, I just only want to know that what you are going to burn, what you are burning here. So Keshav was very much surprised, and there is a trait of every cop that they always um, they successfully read their faces. They successfully read our faces, that what we are going to hide from them. So Kunju said, I want to take a look what you are burning. So Keshav said, no, don't worry about that. I'm just going back to my home. So after convincing Kunju, Keshav came back to his tandoor, but Kunju, he started, you know, he was not convinced with that statement that okay, no, party banners and posters can't uh, flame like this. So this is not possible for this is not the flames of party posters and banners. And there was there was like roasted or um, roasted smell in that environment, like someone is trying to roast mutton or chicken, so there was like a smelly environment there. So Kunju climbed that wall, and he just looked that Keshav was trying to pour some butter on something, and he just tried to keep their flames more and more high. At that time, Kunju started screaming, Keshav, what you are going to do? This is not, what is that? And that was the dead body of Nana Sahni, what Kunju was asking about. So when Kunju asked what is that, he was on the wall of Bagya restaurant, and he asked Keshav what is that. So Keshav said, this is nothing, I'm just roasting a goat. बकरा भून रहा हूं मैं. He just said I'm roasting a goat. But that was not the smell of God, according to Abdul Nazir Kunju. Whenever some media personnel, some media journalist, they asked Kunju about that incident, so he said that that was not the smell of God. According to Kunju, that was the smell of a human body. And after that, he just take a look. He just saw a human hand, some intestines or some other things, whatever, which was enough to realize, or which was enough to know that that was a human body, not a god. So but forcefully Kunju entered the restaurant, and he just got to know that that was not the body of a god, that he was not roasting a god, even he was roasting a human body. Kunju said in his statement. So after that, Maxwell Pereira was called, and other police officers were called, and that was the open and shut case. That Keshav Kumar, who was the manager of that hotel, of that restaurant, he was roasting a human body, and that human body was of a lady. So that was the open and shut case according to Delhi police. So Keshav confessed that Sushil Sharma came here and he just offered me some good amount of money, and then he tried to threat me that if I can kill my wife, then I can kill you also. But no, Keshav didn't reveal that thing, that was the body of a woman, and he didn't clarify that that was the body of Nana Sahni. So Keshav just admitted that Sushil Sharma came to me and he just asked that we have to dump that body. So that was the first information which Delhi police got, that Sushil Sharma, who was the president of Delhi Youth Congress at that time, so he was involved in that case, and Sushil Sharma was the conspirator of this whole thing. So Sushil Sharma was not in that Bagya restaurant. He fled that place and he gone to Gujarat Bhavan. Gujarat Bhavan, maybe you are familiar, if you are familiar with Delhi, if you are familiar with what we can say, if you are familiar with the positioning of Delhi, so Gujarat Bhavan is in central Delhi in Mandi House area. So Sushil Sharma spent that night of 2nd of July 1995 after 12 p.m. or after 1 a.m. or after 2 a.m. Now it is July 3rd 1995. So Sushil Sharma spent his night in Gujarat Bhavan with IAS officer of Gujarat cadre D.K. Rao. And when he spent that night with D.K. Rao, first he took a taxi and then he gone to Jaipur via Mumbai, via Chennai, and finally he fled to Bangalore. Now Sushil Sharma was not in Delhi, but Delhi was totally shook with that incident. Next morning, every newspaper, every TV channel, I mean DD News and all, every TV channel, of course, with every newspaper was fulfilled with this news that human body inside the bread oven, human body inside the tandoor incident, and that case was also named as Tandoor Kand, Tandoor incident. So when Sushil Sharma fled to Bangalore through this route, Jaipur, Mumbai, Chennai, and then Bangalore, so he applied for an anticipatory bail, because we all know that that was the high profile case, according to police, according to district court and high court, that was the rarest of rare case. Sushil Sharma applied for an anticipatory bail. Now, what is anticipatory bail? Anticipatory bail means that bail, if someone, whether me or whether you, if someone is under a threat that okay, I can be arrested or I can be trial on that case where I am not involved. So if there is a possibility to arrest, an anticipatory bail means the what we can say, the bail which we applied before arresting. That if we are going to arrest tomorrow, then anticipatory bail means you just apply for that bail, that if I am going to arrest tomorrow, then I am getting my bail of 30 days, so people can't police can't arrest me. So Sushil Sharma applied for an anticipatory bail in Bangalore, but his bail was cancelled. And after applying for anticipatory bail through his lawyers, Sushil Sharma gone to Tirupati, where he shaved his head and he just changed his look. If you are going to, you know, search Sushil Sharma's old photos, then definitely you got to know that there were some photographs of Sushil Sharma in police custody where there was not even a single hair on his head. Because when he gone to Tirupati, so he just shaved his head to change his look. But Sushil Sharma always denied that allegation, that no, I go there not to change my look. I go there to, because I was feeling sorrow for my wife and for that crime. So I just gone there to get mercy from my God, according to Sushil Sharma. So Sushil Sharma gone to Tirupati to shave his head to change his look. And whenever his anticipatory bail was rejected, so his lawyers convinced him that okay, you have to surrender before police reach you. But when Sushil Sharma stepped outward to surrender, before he surrendered, Delhi police arrested him, Sushil Sharma, and Sushil Sharma was in a police custody now. And after some time, he shifted to Tihar jail. Tihar jail, Sushil Sharma was shifted to Tihar jail, and of course, Keshav Kumar was also in Tihar jail now. Initially, Keshav was very much loyal to Sushil, that Sushil is my employer and I have to be very much loyal towards my employer. But after some time, when Keshav realized that okay, now this is not my cup of tea, and of course, that was a crime of Sushil, so I should be a government approver now. So Keshav, police tried to pressurize Keshav Kumar to be a government approver. So Keshav agreed on that agreement. So Keshav agreed that okay, now I am a government approver. But whenever Sushil Sharma got to know about that thing, that okay, Keshav Kumar is now a government approver, so he tried to pressurize him, he tried to threat him, and of course, with the help of his political power, Sushil Sharma tried to suppress Keshav Kumar to bring him back. That okay, you don't have to be loyal towards the government, you should be loyal towards me. But that was another thing. After some time, lower court. So Sushil Sharma was arrested in 1995. So according to lower court, lower court's verdict was lower court, gave its decision that Sushil Sharma should hang till death, life execution. After the decision of lower court, Sushil Sharma applied in High Court. Sushil Sharma appealed in High Court, and High Court was also convinced with lower court that Sushil Sharma should be hanged till death. But when Sushil Sharma appealed to Supreme Court, so Supreme Court reversed the verdict of lower court and High Court. According to lower court and High Court, the Tandoor incident was the rarest of rare case. Like what we can say in simple language, we can say Tandoor incident was the rarest of rare case. Like that sort of case has been never, before that someone is trying to dump his wife's body in that tandoor. But Supreme Court reversed their verdicts, because according to Supreme Court, Sushil Sharma was not the hardcore criminal. Sushil Sharma was not in any sort of conspiracy case, in any sort of political decision. Sushil Sharma and Naina Sahni, they were husband and wife. That was their personal matter, and that was not the cold-blooded murder. There was a heated argument between them, and then Sushil Sharma killed his wife, and that was the result of a heated argument between his wife and him. So according to Supreme Court, Sushil Sharma was not the hardcore criminal. And another thing about Sushil Sharma, that his behavior in Tihar jail was very good. According to police, according to his lawyer, he's a changed man now. And yes, when he was in prison, He became a priest. He always worshipped his God, and he always tried to, you know, educate people. He always tried to help people. So his behavior was completely changed in Tihar jail. So that was the main reason why Supreme Court reversed the decisions of lower court and high court. And Supreme Court convert that um, his punishment from execution to life imprisonment. So on 8th of October 2013, so Supreme Court's verdict was published on 8th of October 2013, and when Sushil Sharma spent 23 years in jail, he walked back to normal life in Delhi after 23 years of imprisonment. And according to Supreme Court, according to the lawyer of Sushil Sharma, his behavior was completely changed, and now Sushil Sharma is a good man, according to police, according to people. But now the question arises that where is Sushil Sharma now? So Sushil Sharma, I'm not going to say that Sushil Sharma is, you know, his enjoying his life like me and you. No, jail completely changed our life. If someone is caught in that trap, so jail completely change your life. Sushil Sharma is just spending his days. If you are going to if you are going to, you know, uh, search about Sushil Sharma's life, Sushil Sharma in 2025, 2026, and you got to know that Sushil Sharma, many journalists and many podcasters interviewed Sushil Sharma, and Sushil Sharma now, when I last saw his interview, so he said that now I am going to make an NGO where we are going to counsel people. There should be a council. Now he is working like a social activist. That what should be I mean, what reforms should be taken place in Tihar jail, in other sort of jail life, imprisonments. So Sushil Sharma is now going to be a social activist, and his political career, his personal life, his social life has been completely changed, completely smashed. If you are going to take a look on the opposition's role in this case, so the opposition's only role at the time Bharatiya Janata Party was in the lead, in the lead position of opposition. So Bharatiya Janata Party always condemned that activity, not because Sushil Sharma burned his wife, just because Sushil Sharma was in Congress party at the time, 1995. So that was a main reason why Bharatiya Janata Party and other political parties condemn this. But of course, if you are going to take a look on 2025, 2026, 2024, so there are n number of examples where the people didn't get their verdict, like Kuldeep Singh or Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, who is a damn. I'm not going to say anything about him. So that was the politics of 1995, and Sushil Sharma is not in Tihar jail. He is in Delhi, and his social life, his personal life is completely changed. So that was the whole story. That was the whole incident of Sushil Sharma. That was the whole incident of Tandoor Kand. So if there is any doubt of yours, that if you want to raise anything, if you want to raise any question, so please comment us, subscribe us, hit the bell icon, and of course like our video, and stay with us, through which we would be able to keep you updating about the historical events, about the other events in our country which is going on today also. Thank you very much. Meher Jain along with cameraman Uman Sari.